So today in the studio we have Shaurya with us, who's going to talk us through about the Mobile World Congress, it's just been a week since the event, which used to be a forum for most of the major brands showcasing their flagships for the year. But recently it's switched back and forth.
Changing.
Yeah, it's been changing. The trends have been changing. This time the highlight, which has been for a couple of years, that a lot of automobile manufacturers, even the likes of the mainstream manufacturers like Ford, coming in, Chrysler coming in and making it, showcasing at least their hybrids, where though these will obviously not come into production anytime soon, but what do you have to say about the change in trend?
It's interesting because Mobile World Congress was always as self-explanatory. It was supposed to be about mobile phones, and then as you rightly said, it's sort of seen a trend change over the past couple of years. But it's becoming much more like a CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, where people just come there to showcase the best of technology. But it also tells you something about how much technology is converging, where nowadays cars are the new big thing, with self-driving cars, with Uber trying to develop their own technology, Lyft trying to develop their own technology. Apple apparently has been making a self-driving car for God knows how long. Tesla's the big thing in the car world right now. So you can understand why, because this is a great forum to get people who would otherwise not be interested in cars, to get them to just come and see, because they have MWC is a hugely popular thing. So you can understand where it comes from, but it's also a little worrisome that the focus is shifting from cell phones, mobile phones, smartphones, portable devices. It's shifting away.
Especially in terms of a lot of companies this time shunning the Mobile World Congress altogether. Xiaomi, who released their flagship last year, the Mi5, this time decided to not show up at the MWC at all. And also obviously HTC, who boycotted last year, have also decided not to come this year as well. So that's where for smartphone lovers and for people who look forward to the MWC as a that time of the year where you come across new flagships, that's really changing. So what do you have to say about
it's really a question of again, it's connected to the first thing that we talked about. It's about how relevant is the MWC staying anymore, because Apple never comes to these things. They do their own launches. Samsung's sort of trying to take on that trend. Google's been doing that for a while. Xiaomi's wanting to do this. HTC has a problem with CES. So if people start bifurcating and use their own launches, use their own programs, then what is MWC still for?
What exactly is its selling point in that?
Exactly. And everybody thought the S8, the Galaxy S8 was at MWC. We have a date. Didn't happen. Maybe something from Google. Didn't happen. So
also it's also become a platform where like we've seen the trend shift towards VR a lot.
Right.
So a lot of obviously Oculus and a lot of these makers have now. We've had the new Gear S launched by Samsung this year, which again Samsung just had a couple of devices to show at the CES this time. The Tab 3 and the new Gear. So it's again another shift away from just smartphones, which used to be the main thing at CES. So the whole VR business is taking over, and more devices are being more like displays are being beefed up, so just to support VR. So what do you have to say about this? For example, the Tab 3 is generally it's been upgraded to a quad HD just so that it can
accommodate VR. Of course, VR is the VR, AR. These are the new, not even the new big things. These are now becoming more and more mainstream. With the S7, Galaxy was giving away their VR device for free in many parts of the world. Then when it got updated, they started giving it away at a heavily discounted price. And it's true, but it also remains to be seen how how accommodating these things can be. You have, on the one hand, you have some things like the Google Cardboard, which is absolutely costs nothing to make. You can literally make it from home. And then you have devices like Oculus's Rift, or you have Samsung's VR set. But it also depends on, of course, the displays of mobile phones, but just how comfortable an experience are you giving your consumer? Because you don't want to lug around. You can have the biggest screens in the world, you can have the sharpest of them all, but you can't lug around, for example, a laptop on your eyes. So it needs to some sort of meet the band. Nowadays, VR sets are moving more towards comfort, towards portability, towards better battery life. So good days for VR. I think 2017 is going to be the VR year.
Yeah, it used to be a bit odd for people. When the S7 came out with the VR headsets free, everyone was questioning why VR and who's going to carry around the big bulky thing around. So it didn't make much sense back then, but just a year on, things have changed
Completely.
Yeah, and also the emphasis on smart watches is also increased a lot. Huawei launched their new watch, which is probably not being touted as one of the best watches around, but it marks Huawei's entry into the smartwatch scene. So yeah, it's been a real turner of events at CES. I mean at the MWC this time. Samsung, though they haven't said anything much about the S8, have at least revealed when they're going to be launching. So yeah, we're going to see that next month. HTC also might come up with their new flagship anytime soon.
The big one from MWC.
Yeah, the biggest highlight.
He's an old boy.
Yeah, we have Nokia.
We have the grand old daddy of smartphones.
Yeah, the
Nokia's back.
Yeah, along with HMD.
And they're not back with a smartphone that has a Quad HD display or a 4K display or a crazy camera. They're back with the 3310 of all the phones that you could come up with.
And guess what? Snake's back.
Yeah, Snake's back. Snake's back. Snake's in color now.
Yeah.
And then the Snake can twirl in loops, which is not something you could do on Snake before. And it's a lot of people are annoyed that it's not a Nokia phone. It's made by HMD. It just got the Nokia branding. Nokia insists that it's as tough as the 3310. You could. We have Kim Jong-un back there. He would use that as a weapon. I'm not even kidding. But I mean, nostalgia is the order of the day.
I think they're playing on that note, though.
And I mean, $50 for a phone nowadays is peanuts. Exactly. You don't get any phone for $50. So maybe it's a second device that people.
And guess what? It has a headphone jack.
Yeah.
Which, quote unquote, Apple doesn't.
It would still be cheaper than buying dongles for your new iPhones. So maybe people will just buy it. It'll sell because it comes in like 3,500 colors.
They've already claimed to the fact that it's going to sell more than the new iPhone celebrity edition they're going to come up with. So I think they were having a nice nibble at Apple over there, but
it's going to be fun. So
and
I think everybody's going to buy it.
Yeah, and also in terms of the new flagship, the Nokia 6, which is in terms of specifications very much a flagship. Yeah, it's new for HMD Global to bring back Nokia and to break clear at the same time in terms of their finances, but I think they've priced it pretty aggressively. Even the mid models, the Nokia 3 and the Nokia 5, I think they're pretty aggressively priced.
And Nokia's done a smart thing, finally, anyway, it took them eons to finally decide on Android, and it's got a stripped out interface. It's practically clean, so people will appreciate this. It looks nice. It has bezels the size of pillars, but it'll take them time for it. But you're right, they priced it aggressively. If they can market it properly, if they find a target audience for it, because they're not going to woo away the Apple buyers or the Samsung buyers. They're going to have to hit people in the maybe OnePlus buyers, the Xiaomi buyers, maybe the upper mid end HTC buyers. So they have to go head on there. But see, it's a good start. It looks like a promising device.
And also Sony, I think they're the first company to boast the new 835 Snapdragon 835 chip, which surprisingly not the main highlight for LG, who are the only one of the major manufacturers still choosing MWC as a platform to showcase their flagship, has still been pulled down and had to stick with the 821 chip. which is already, if not a year old, but at least 6 months old. So yeah, but then also LG last year came out with the whole modular thing, which was a complete disaster for LG. But this time they've played it rather safe.
So do you think modular phones are dead?
It might be a thing of the future, but not anytime soon, probably.
I think LG's come to that acceptance as well. They decided that pulling out your battery from the bottom isn't the smartest thing.
Also, the new shift that we've seen is the whole bezel-less arena. It was all started by Xiaomi. The Mi Mix, which was amazing. I mean, nobody thought we'd come up with a screen that amazing, but so we see that in the G6 as well. It's got very thin bezels.
Yeah, same for the leaked image. Everybody knows what the S8 looks like.
Exactly.
Photos all over the place. So it's interesting because now it finally means that we can, in a year or two, maybe actually have a phone which is just front is all display, and then we move forward where the sides are all display. Maybe someday the backs are display, where you just everything in your phone is a screen. That's eventually where we're going. Obviously, Apple is behind the game.
Yeah, exactly.
They still have a huge button, which isn't a button, but okay.
So it's been an interesting MWC. We'll be all obviously looking forward to the S8 launch and HTC's launch also, which are coming up soon, and obviously the CES later on this year. And also everyone's looking forward to Apple's anniversary edition this time. So so that was about it from the MWC. There's not much flagship to it anymore, but that's how we sign off today. Thank you.